The finance industry has changed substantially over the past few years, with investment managers and finance professionals often struggling to keep up. My guest today is Klaus Holse, CEO of SimCorp, who's joining me to explain what challenges are faced and how best to overcome them. I'm Jenny Hammond, and this is the Business Debate. Klaus, welcome to the London Stock Exchange studios.
Thank you.
Now let's start with the investment landscape. Now there's no denying it has changed dramatically. So bearing this in mind, what sort of challenges are managers facing?
I think they're seeing challenges from many parts. I think they are being pushed into investing in new things, given the low interest rate. They see new technologies coming down the line with robo-advice and so on. They're pushed into new jurisdictions of investment. So complexity is rising for all of the asset managers, investment managers. And at the same time, there's a lot of pressure on the fees because the low interest rate, you can't have that much cost. So a combination of a lot of new things to do and then less money to do it.
And new regulation, what's this adding to the mix?
Yeah, so regulation has been a big part for the last 5 years, or even since the beginning of the financial crisis. So you've seen all of the Dodd-Frank and EMIR and all of those regulations coming, and they seem to keep coming. So like Basel, the next version of that is coming out, Solvency II has been out. So there's a lot of regulation, and all of the managers out there have had to patch all of their systems basically to make that work. They put in desperate systems to fix these and so on. So it's really complicated the landscape for many of the investment managers to have to do this. There's a few of them though that have invested wisely and then actually taken advantage of some of this regulation, so they can also be ready for the next part and then have a competitive edge against some that have not done it yet.
Now, many investment managers have a very fragmented system, which leaves them open to higher risk. So how can they best combat the industry complexity?
I think that many of them have very old systems. They have invested in systems from many different parts, and some of them are brought together by acquisition and so on. So it's a very complex system landscape, and that makes it very hard from a risk point of view to have a view of all of your portfolio. It's very hard to stay compliant. It's very hard to report on some of this. So there's a thinking of a more centralized system would probably be a good thing for many of these investment managers. It allows you to take complexity out of the equation, and it allows you to reduce cost at the same time, which are exactly some of the challenges we see in this space.
So how important is ongoing research and development, innovation in the fintech sector?
So as the word fintech says, then tech is obviously quite important in this. And part of that is maintaining all of the systems you've got. So a lot of the research and development spend goes into this. But really, maintaining all of the systems you have is not enough. You also need to innovate. And what we see in the market is that innovation is not kept up to date on all of the systems. You see some systems that the customers have where they don't get enough investment in it, and then they turn into legacy systems basically. So we think that there should be investment done both in R&D for new stuff and for some of the old stuff.
So finally, how do you foresee your industry developing? Any interesting trends emerging? And most importantly, how are you set to address these?
I think that what we see in the industry, and as we discussed, there's increasing complexity. So that is where the industry is going. We think that to address the complexity in the industry, you need something that's integrated. You need something that services the industry with all asset classes. It does front to back. It allows you to also be more efficient in your operation. So I think that all of the complexity we see by having one integrated system that allows you to do everything at a lower cost. That's what we think is the answer.
Certainly an interesting one to watch, Klaus. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, don't forget to tune in next time when we'll be discussing investment in emerging markets and supply chain innovations. Thanks for watching the Business Debate, and bye for now.